With the emissary, perhaps? And their ship, the Helix? I believe they ambushed you above Neon and demanded that artifact you worked so hard to gain.
Thank you for the stellar introduction. Your success is unprecedented. Before you came, we were just discussing how continued use of force against you is unwise. We are not a monolithic people. The Starborn are individuals. Some are united in cause. Others are in it for themselves.
We are all in it for ourselves. Some of us are just more honest. The emissary threatened your ship, demanded you hand over your artifact. How is that so different from what I did?
We needed to warn you off. Every encounter with one of our kind could spell disaster.
For whom, exactly? I say whoever can collect them should. And who gets to say that? You? Me? The emissary? I have debated morality for near infinity, and all I have found are groups of people enforcing their will on others. Rules and laws spoken as principles, but backed by arms and violence.
Enough. We have more to discuss. The Unity. You are on the path to it. It is a place, a gateway. It is where we were reborn.
So, I gotta say, this part is more awkward than I thought. Hiding my face was way easier. I'm not who you think I am. This universe is only the first one you've been to. I've seen hundreds. Where I came from, I was the one who stayed at the launch to protect the artifacts. You died on board the Eye, while we held off the Hunter.
One of me, at least.
I collected the remaining artifacts, and they opened the way to the center of my universe, and the doorway to an infinite number of others. That is the Unity. When I stepped into it, I became a Starborn. It's how I've entered other worlds, including yours. I have to. This is bigger than all of us. All the artifacts are needed to complete the armillary and open the way to the Unity. In every universe, the Starborn fight over them. Innocent people die. You've witnessed the power granted by the temples, the anarchy that can be unleashed. Someone has to decide who should get them.
Here it comes. The emissary tells you only the worthy should enter heaven.
You're twisting what I mean.
They're hypocrites. They use the chaos caused by the hunt for the artifacts to establish an order where they decide who's worthy. I attacked your launch because I wanted the artifacts, and you held me off. You got away. That wasn't some morality play. You didn't survive because of righteousness. You won because of persistence, luck, and skill. As I have done countless times.
I was also human once. But what does it matter who or what I was when eternity is within your grasp. It means I've seen thousands of universes, collected their artifacts, been to their temples. You have a small taste of their power, but it keeps going. You're learning. My other self wants you to walk the path he walks, to give up, to appreciate the universe you have. Easy for a person who's seen everything, done everything. I think you should see it for yourself.
You've never come this far. Not in all the universes I've seen. The path to the unity is opening to you.
You're going to tip the scales one way or another. Better your hand be on one of our sides.
You're already in it. With artifacts comes Starborn searching for them, fighting over them. I want a truce. Between all three of us. I will give you some time to think over which approach to the unity is the one you want. Mine. Or the Hunters.
Yes. Let's see how willing you are to live under someone else's rules. Just remember, one of us isn't trying to judge you. The emissary and their kind only want to control you. They enter the unity, take artifacts from others, employ force. All the things I do. I am many things, but I would never tell anyone what to do with their gifts. That is your decision, not someone else's. The emissary wants to become the judge of who gets to enter, but the unity itself doesn't judge. To see what would happen, of course. You might not understand just how many times I've done this. Usually, you're the one who ends up dead, and whoever cries over your body goes on to become the emissary. Sometimes I manage to get you all bunched up and take care of the problem in one go. Sometimes the emissary has gotten to me first, and I never arrive. Hundreds and hundreds of variations of me, hacking through Constellation. And it's almost never you. You making it to your ship on your own. It's new. I took it as a sign. I don't get many of those anymore. I've simply found that it's the quickest way. Talking, forming alliances, waiting for the right moment to commit theft. It's all so tiresome. I'll admit, you getting away has been the most interesting thing to happen in quite some time. As soon as I realized what had happened, I knew I needed to wait until this meeting with the emissary to decide what to do about you. Whoever created the artifacts and built those temples is playing a game with us. One whose prize is access to the center of all creation. There are no rules. Whoever gets all the pieces wins. And I've won. Over and over. I don't kill for the unity. I find the easiest pathway to it. No, we always end up having this meeting at this time. But it's the usual affair. Can we make peace? No. Oh, how tragic. Honestly, I was beginning to wonder why I kept attending. That it's bad habit I started a long time ago. Perhaps I just like meeting the emissary to gloat. But you have provided something quite new to talk about. Maybe you're a random die roll. Or maybe the Unity is finally responding to all my hard work.
I'll tell you everything I can. I know we're not the same people we met in our universes. Still, it's good to see you again, old friend. You've seen the terror the Hunter causes. Every time a Starborn goes through the Unity, they get more artifacts, find more temples, gain more power. We can't let more like him abuse these gifts to destroy whatever's in their way. Different. I never know who you are when I meet a new version. But so much of you stays the same. It's hard, but each universe is precious in its own way. Mine will never have its original you in it again, as yours won't have its real me. When all the artifacts are assembled, the device they create is called the Armillary. In many ways, it's a model of the multiverse itself. Through it, you can reach the Unity, and from there, you can become Starborn. It is not an easy experience to describe, but the Unity will speak to you, offer you the chance to become Starborn. You will be leaving this universe behind to be reborn. Everything you were before will be gone. Maybe that's why it offers the choice. Compassion? Or is it testing us? Before you leave, I want to give you something. A way to another artifact, but also a lesson in how dangerous they can be. Seek the moon of old Earth. There are secrets there you must discover for yourself. Here, to open the way. Yes, I will say no more. And I am sorry we have not always been forthcoming. I hope you will see what I have seen. You should also talk to your colleagues in Constellation. I am sure they have gathered more information on the remaining artifacts in the fringes of space. Part of me wonders what they will all say about what you have learned. But I will leave that to you.
Oh, I love breathing in the air here. You'd imagine it would smell like any other city. But it smells tranquil. This place is a delightful relic tangled up with hope, grit, and science.
Hey, I've been talking with the others, and I'd like to get everyone together. To say goodbye. You know. To Sam. Thank you. It wouldn't be the same without you there. I'll have everything set up in a few days.
Mateo told us about your pilgrim's voyage.
You found it, didn't you? The meaning of unity. Wait, say that again? Multiple universes?
You can't possibly mean what I think you mean.
Let's take a step back. This is everything we've been building towards, and the implications are a lot to take in. Could you explain the part about multiple universes one more time for everyone?
Yes, I wouldn't mind a little more detail.
And that's why the Starborn want the artifacts so desperately. They're the keys to unlocking the infinite.
I don't even want to think about the physiological changes you'd need to travel between universes.
Plus what it would do to the mind? Enlightenment? Or oblivion? Like the Hunter.
You have the opportunity to reach the closest thing to your god that might exist. And you're second-guessing it?
One doesn't approach the afterlife without some trepidation. You're right. This is a lot to take in.
Take some time to process, everyone. We finally have some answers. Now we need to figure out what to do with them.
Not to make a sharp turn in a grand tale, but I got the eye fixed up. Bruised, but still blinking. Let me know when you're ready to follow up on what it's seen. These last glimpses from the eye are from the farthest fringes of known space. Could be the only remaining pieces outside the hands of the Starborn. Aye. The blackest sea seems less of a concern when there are sharks leaping out at you. Catch a smile out there.
Huh? Oh, sorry. I thought I had a grip on the situation. I'm not so sure anymore. The Sanctum Universum believes that God wanted us to travel the stars. That's gotten us here. Is this... Could this be the next step in that journey? Is this what we were meant to learn out here? Could the unity... Could that be God? Or a way to reach him? I knew we were onto something big with the artifacts, but this... It's beyond anything I could have imagined. The one thing I'm sure of is that we have to see this through. We need to find the rest of the artifacts.
The lodge feels a little colder than it used to.
Everyone seems more distant in the lodge. I guess that is to be
Waiting for time's passage is the only cure for Constellation's wounds.
Sorry. I, counter to everything I've said and believed before. I've caught myself wondering if we ever should have started this search. If this is all true, and I have it right, we've potentially started a chain of events that will create more of these Starborn. Or worse, enable the ones we've seen to become even stronger. I am not fond of either of those options. So maybe now we have no choice but to finish this journey before one of them does. Does it even work like that? This is enough to make your head spin. Look, I don't like the idea of siding with either one of these groups. I'd much rather see someone from Constellation get there first. I trust any of us far more than these Starborn.
I will be monitoring everyone's vitals for
I need
signs
everyone
of
looking out.
continued trauma.
Home sweet home. Or bittersweet home, I suppose. don't believe in luck per se, but I do realize how fortunate I am to be a part of all of this.
Home's got a sanctity. The eye's showing signs over another one of those big anomalies. Here, get your smile. Don't mind me. Tip your ear later.
Everyone is staying in their room.
3-star space. Please hold your current speed and heading while we scan you for contraband. And that's it. Enjoy Neon.
One instant, the stars are rearranged. We are here.
human. Oh, pardon my ignorance. We just didn't expect to find people out here. We didn't think anyone else left Earth before us.
Welcome back to the rest of humanity. You're no longer alone.
Perhaps we should greet our guests.
Of course. Manners. I'm Captain Diana Brackenridge. This is Security Officer Bomani Reader. And this is Dr. Mabuti da Costa, one of our elders.
A pleasure to meet you.
I see. As you may have presumed, we're in a bit of a bind. Our ship has finally completed its near 200-year journey from Earth, only to find our new home seemingly colonized by... well, we don't know. Communications haven't been successful, so your arrival is fortuitous. Perhaps you'd be willing to act as a middle person between ourselves and... the others. Ah, your question confirms one of our recent theories. It would seem that some form of faster-than-light travel or space-bending technology was invented during our long journey. That would explain why we would find people this far out into space. I guess technology leapfrogged us at some point. Interesting. I can only imagine that our predecessors didn't believe the technology would ever work, and so they made the decision to leave when they did. Well, the short answer is, we didn't. It's a generation ship, which is to say that most of us lived long, happy lives on board and passed our mission down to our children. It was never intended that the original crew would make it to our destination. The goal was always the preservation of the human race above all else. Though, it would seem that was perhaps a bit presumptuous. We're not entirely sure. Our engineers believe it's possible that our technology just isn't compatible with theirs. All we hear when using them to communicate with anyone is a bunch of disturbing noise. It gave me the heebie-jeebies at first. We do. Well, sort of. We saw structures using our surveying equipment. We've also seen the various ships pass us by. Some even seemed to want to communicate, but couldn't. Of course, we had no idea that they were being piloted by other humans. I know. But please, hear me out. You came to us, and so far we don't have any other options. Perhaps if you knew little more about us, it would change your mind. Now then, please follow me. There's much to discuss first. We'll speak more on the matter once we reach the bridge. Dr. DaCosta, you may return to your quarters if you wish.
I will follow you to the bridge, ma'am. For security purposes.
I do not believe we have need to fear our guest, but I'll allow it if you insist. Welcome to the Earth colony ship Constant. In the early 2100s, my ancestor, Rupert Breckenridge, researched a number of scientific scenarios. Climate change, asteroid...
I see more of this galaxy than most folks. That always be present.
He fully believed Earth was destined to be rendered uninhabitable. We've always assumed that's what happened. So, he gathered the best and brightest he could find, built the Constant, and set a course for this planet here. We were told that it was the largest, most advanced ship ever constructed on Earth at the time. If you could believe, entire generations have been born, lived, and died on this ship. It really goes to show that there are no limits to human ingenuity and perseverance.
The Constant is a peaceful ship. Don't change that. Never seen a ship like yours before. And then again, I haven't seen
So,
any
here we are.
ships.
Let's talk. We didn't believe anyone would be out here, but I'm glad for it. A bit frazzled, as you can imagine. People are anxious about discovering that we're not alone, and also worried about what will come to pass. While we hope we can work out a deal with the people on the surface, they seem reluctant to reach out, so there's no telling what will come of that. I do know that we can't afford to stay here in orbit forever. The ship was built to sustain us for many years with backup provisions just in case, but even that will come to an end eventually. Difficult is the wrong word. It can be both challenging at times and also exciting. Our mission was to rebuild humanity on a distant world, believing that we were Earth's last hope. To think that while there has always been a Breckenridge in the captain's chair, that I am the one to finally oversee our journey's end is truly exhilarating. But with this stumbling block in our path, at this final moment, I fear tough choices will need to be made. I think I'm coming up on 6 years now. I was only a teenager when my father died, passing command of the ship to me, as is tradition. Because of that, I've had to sort of learn as I go along, instead of taking years of study and apprenticeship under the prior captain. I think some people on the ship resent me for not having the level of experience as my predecessors. But at the same time, without my command, we likely wouldn't have made it here so quickly. Well, as I mentioned, we've been unsuccessful in communications with anyone up until you arrived, though not for lack of trying. But since you're asking, maybe you'd be willing to be a sort of diplomat between us and them as we attempt to resolve our situation. Does that sound agreeable to you? We suspect that our equipment is woefully obsolete compared to whatever you all have now. In all honesty, we never expected to need to communicate with anyone, so our comms aren't particularly robust. That limits our options. We even attempted communicating with lights and sounds, something we saw in an old movie, but I don't believe they picked up on it. If anything, it may have inadvertently alarmed them. We know there's a settlement on the planet below, meaning people were here before us. You see, we intended to settle here, but we assume that they intend to defend their claim given their presence here. We'd like you to go speak to them on our behalf and help us negotiate a solution, preferably one that favors us. Based on the data our ancestors had when they launched this endeavor, it was determined that this was the perfect planet for us. Even if we had another viable candidate planet, we lack the resources to get there. And as you know, it took us 200 years to get here. Our people have no desire to go back to drifting the stars so their children's children can possibly settle on an inferior planet. Yes, of course. But we need to start from a firm position and state our goal. If need be, we can compromise, work out a mutually beneficial deal or some such, but initially I'd like you to be firm with them and convince them to leave the planet to us. Let me know how they respond, and we'll go from there. We thought about it, but it simply won't do. I need to think about the distant future of our people. Sure, our first settlement may be small, but our predecessors dreamt of our new civilization spreading across the globe. That will be difficult if someone else plans to do the same. While we're not completely close to the idea of sharing, it's much easier if we have complete domain over this world. Now, it makes little sense to give up before you try. Thank you, and good luck.
These are exciting times, aren't they?
We were never trained to address threats
Amazing! The unity, the multiverse, this is everything and more, literally. I admit, I was really hoping they were, but I cannot believe I limited my hopes and dreams to only aliens now. Jeez, this explains so much though. They're disorganized, petty, weird, and also deeply fascinating at the same time. Because they are just people. We never rule that out, but it feels so good to know we weren't fighting against robot alien ghost gods or something. No. Not even slightly. They're people who obtain power in some unfair way, and some of them have used that power to cause suffering, and others just didn't want to share. But that's what regular people do every day of the year. We should feel cheated. They hoarded this and used it against people in their quest for power. But it all comes back to this. We don't know what will happen if you enter the Unity. You might lose yourself or become a two-headed space shark. There are too many variables. What? No. I just have to go back and forth about it for a while first, and then I'll be completely fine. Just part of my process. Of course, at the end of the day, it's your choice. But I will say this. Our entire purpose in Constellation is to explore. Why would we stop now? Obviously. If you were ready to jump in right now, I would not be following you. I'm sorry to say. It's a huge decision. It could change who you are fundamentally. It's not like dyeing your hair gold or getting a full-body cat suit or eating a full pack of extra wild spicy chunks in under a minute. This is serious business. Anytime. The possibility of turning evil aside, I appreciate you taking the lead on this. You're guiding Constellation to new frontiers, new discoveries, and we should all follow your example. On that note, there's something else I'd like to discuss with you, if you have time. It's not on the scale of entering the Unity, but it is tangentially related. Thanks. This has been swirling in my brain goo for a while now. So, I've been pondering over what's happened and what it all means. And I've got a favor to ask. A teensy-weensy favor. About the size of a plank length, really. I think it's time I joined you in the physics-bending powers business. See if one of those temples works for more than just you. What, you think you're the only one who can walk around in a cape and tights? Granted, it's just a theory, but I venture anyone who experiences visions from touching an artifact is now connected to them. You got a vision, I got a vision. You got a power, ergo. Well, we don't have to go right now. Maybe after we get something to eat. You know where to find me. I know now isn't the best time. I need to talk with you later.
Sure is nice to know there are other people out there.
Now that we know what's out there, things are going to be more interesting.
Boy, am I glad you weren't some sort of alien. Keeping a 200-year-old ship running is no easy task.
We got strict rules around here. They're strict.
Welcome aboard. Find your seats. Got a minute to chat? Maybe a few minutes. Probably not hours, though. But no guarantees. You've got my attention, Captain. Do you have time to talk? I had a favor to ask. Well, good. Because I happen to be... So, I've been... And I've got... I think it's time I... You know where to find...
You know the drill, Vasco. Protocol Indigo means no deviations, no distractions, no dalliances, in short, no fun. Unless, as strictly defined by Sarah, said deviations, distractions, and dalliances are completely necessary in getting this fine vessel, the Discovery-class Starship Frontier, back home in one piece. I guess I'm still technically borrowing it from Constellation, even if I have no intention of actually giving it back.
instructions.
Landing gear is ready. Hey, Dusty. If you're ever thinking to yourself, I could really listen to Barrett's dulcet voice right now, then instead of dreaming about me, stop by and say hello. Do you have time to talk? You know where to find me.
Hi, Captain. It is. I will accompany you as long as you require.
Welcome to Paradiso. Jiro Sugiyama at your service. Do you have a security concern, or is there something else I can help you with? Neither. We're our own private force. The Paradiso Group pays top dollar for top-notch security. And I dare say we're some of the best in the business. We have to be out here on the fringes of the settled systems. Honestly, it's not as exciting as you might think most of the time. More often than not, we're just handling drunk and disorderly conduct. Heck, even pirates leave us alone for the most part. I think it's because some of them actually vacation here. As long as they're not bothering anyone, we've been told not to worry about them. Something I can help you with? Ah, it has a name. Good. Then you're already familiar with the situation, I take it. Do you know what they want? Interesting. We obviously have no records of a colony ship claiming this planet. Whatever the case, you'll need to speak with Oliver Campbell, a CEO for the Paradiso Group. He's in charge of bringing all formal decisions before the board and helping to make calls on them. I'll let him know you're on your way.
of that tower.
Sure, I've got a minute.
I guess I have to admit, this resort isn't as bad as I thought it'd be.
I'm just glad I don't work on the luxury.
Excuse me, you can't just waltz in there. Do you have an appointment? Oh, you're the one they're waiting for then. Do you need anything else from me before you meet with the board? I hope I was able to help.
We've got some of the best private security in the settled systems.
Between you and me, I'm kinda glad most of the execs never show up to... Sure, have fun in the Shark Tank. And don't worry, even they call it that.
I just feel that we should be focusing on the natural beauty of this planet, not our amenities.
There are millions of planets out there. People can go to any one of them. The resort facilities are precisely what we bring to the table. Heck, it's the only thing we've really got to offer.
I don't want to risk us coming off as just another artificial, shady, trash-filled dump like Neon. That's not who we are. We've got something special here. We should embrace that.
Belom's right. Come on, mate. Loads more interesting things to do outside. No need to mill about in here. I am. And you must be the diplomat Jiro told me about. Welcome, welcome. Normally I'd offer you an all-inclusive stay at our resort before we spoke. But given the circumstances, I'm gonna cut to the chase. We've got our friends, the aliens, up there causing all sorts of problems for our resort. You like that? The marketing team came up with it. The thought is, if we can't get rid of them, it might actually attract more tourism. Come see the aliens! Despicable? Hardly. Just a backup plan in case we can't get them to leave. But you're right, no one's gonna buy aliens. Remind me to fire the marketing team. So tell me, what's the actual deal with this massive eyesore of a ship, besides scaring people away? Well, that's something. Shame we can't just tell them kindly to bugger off. Something tells me that's not going to work. Now, tell me, what are we going to do about it? Give me some proposals, people. I need something to work with here.
We could offer to resettle them here. There's more than enough space.
They could stay here, temporarily, but it'll cost them. Quite a bit, too. They'd need to work off all their debts before being allowed to leave.
Maybe not. What if we help them get out of here? Outfit their ship with a grab drive so they can find a new home. We could even lend our engineers to help and give their captain an updated star map. What do you think?
Sounds costly. We can't absorb that cost, and it's unlikely they even have compatible currency, let alone enough for the transaction. Someone else would have to foot the bill.
Oh, I swear this would be a lot easier if they ceased to exist entirely. Anyway, Seema's got the right idea. Either works for me. Just tell me what you want to do. I'm not suggesting anything, other than it would make our lives so much easier if that ship ceased existing. Make of that what you will. We own this planet, they don't. Here at Paradiso, we don't like leaving things to chance. Who knows what these people will do with their land? Imagine the landscaping disasters they might come up with, and how that might mar the satellite imagery of the planet in our brochures. No, much better to assimilate them into our culture if they come here to live, rather than leave it to chance. Well, absurd or not, that's our official stance. I make the decisions that are best for our entire group. You don't. We operate outside of the Free Stars only, you see, partially because we don't want anyone else meddling in our affairs. And we'd rather not draw attention to it. As I've mentioned, it could be bad for business. We'd much rather settle this independently. It's not our responsibility to bear the brunt of that cost. We're being more than generous by offering the use of our engineering team to help install it. A custom grav drive can't come cheap, and I assume they have neither the monetary means nor the connections to get a hold of that kind of technology. That leaves the only other party in this negotiation. You. Oh, I didn't say that specifically. This would be a mutual contract for room and board in exchange for services rendered. Of course, there's no telling how long this arrangement will last, given the substantial costs we'd need to take on in order to accommodate them here, including their continued room and board. But this may save the resort on operating costs in the long term, as we'd be able to let go of some of our current paid staff. And which proposal will you be taking to the good captain? I assume there's a captain? They'd be hard-pressed to defend their claim in any courts. Our charter goes back years. It was registered with both the UC and Free Star Collective, per the Centaurus Proclamation. We may be outside the settled systems, but that charter's official as can be. I'm sorry, but you're going to need to be the one to break the news to them that they need to make a compromise or leave. I have no idea, because I'm not suggesting anything of the sort. But it's a wonder that old ship made it all the way here in such a relatively short time. Must have really been pushing themselves. An engineer friend of mine told me once that the reactors on those old ships have a tendency to self-destruct if they overload. Of course, their engineers must have taken great care not to push it too far. Someone would likely have to override the safety systems in the reactor computer. But who would do such a thing? Guess we're tabling it for now. Let's circle back around ASAP, though.
Thank you.
We don't want to compete with Dion. Bayou's ruthless. He'll do anything he can to eliminate the competition. We don't need that kind of trouble. Hello? I didn't realize Kiwi was letting people in here. And you've made your decision? Right. Assuming they agree to the terms, I've got a list of resources you'll need to gather and bring back so we can support the new arrivals. We'll need to improve our lodging and infrastructure, plus account for future projects to support an increased population. Don't care how you procure them, just make sure to bring them here with you before we can consider this a done deal. Right. On behalf of the Paradiso Group, we appreciate your help.
Sounds good. I'll look into what that would cost.
Just because our equipment's old, doesn't mean it won't work to take down troublemakers. Just stay out of it.
matter the outcome, I won't let my crew down. What's the good word? Then I'd need to know what that catch is before I could form an opinion. That doesn't sound so bad. My crew will need to get used to working for a living anyway. This seems agreeable. Is that all? I'm not sure what we can spare. Unfortunately, we just don't have any resources to spare. As you can... That does seem reasonable. You don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, we can't...
Just because our equipment's old. Careful waving that fancy gun around. You don't want to see.
Never seen a ship like yours before.
Now that you're here, I can... What's the good word? Then I'd need... That doesn't sound so... Is that all? I'm not sure what we can... That does seem reasonable. We won't, will we? At least, not all of it. I wonder what we could easily access for this transaction. Tell you what, talk to Daisuke, and he'll get you what we can spare. If you succeed, we'll see about finding some other ways to repay you as well. Thank you. Until next time.
Now that we know what's out there, things are getting more interesting from here on out.
The Constant is a peaceful ship.
We were never trained to address threats coming from outside our ship.
We've had to do our fair share of recycling.
All this time
on
we thought we
Constant.
were alone.
Not exactly a lot of places to get new goods. Hi there. Oh! Nice to meet you. And that's true. As you can imagine, everyone kind of just knows each other around here. Meeting new people isn't really a thing for us. Right? We've been cooped up together in this ship all our lives. So outside of births, there's literally no way for new people to arrive, you know? Anyway, sorry for freezing up before. I just didn't expect our visitor from the outside to stop by and chat with me. I figured, if anything, you'd be with the captain. I'm Daisuke, the ship's provisions manager. I'm not sure what I can offer you, but if I can help, I will. And if not, I'm happy just to talk. Oh yeah, she sent me a message. I have everything for you right here. It's all we can spare, so I sure hope you come through for us. Need anything else? Not really. Things don't work that way here. It's not a shop like you hear about in the books and movies, or, where you're probably from. Almost everything is communal or shared in some way, but sometimes people want a little something extra or special for themselves. So when that happens, they come to me. Mostly, I just keep track of the ship's inventory and help ration the supplies so we don't run out. We manage. I know back on Earth, there used to be stores all over the place. Some that even specialize in specific types of goods, if you can imagine. But here, this is it. We have very limited supplies. Most of our stuff is recycled, even the food, in a roundabout way, if you know what I mean. It works out for the most part, because it has to. You'll sense a running theme with that around here. Be seeing you.
I wonder what else is out there.
Like out there beyond our little community.
quite the talent for reading people's current mood from afar. Comes with the territory, I suppose. Care to share your troubles?
I am concerned with how the rest of Constellation perceives my presence. Regardless of how I present myself, I feel as though they're looking at me with disdain, rather than... Forgive me for pulling you aside again, but, well, there's so much to process right now. The emissary, the hunter, the unity, an entire multiverse. I can't even begin to wrap my head around it all. Why wouldn't you be? The fact that we are the origin of the Starborn. Humans literally reborn by entering the Unity. The same, yet different. It's unbelievable. I feel like most of the knowledge we've amassed in the last few centuries about the universe has just been made obsolete. It's exciting, but we've made so many mistakes along the way. I worry about the damage we've done to ourselves. We've been pushing further and further outwards from our home, when we should have spent more time being prepared for the consequences. Our current problem relates closely to the nature of humans as a species. This rushed curiosity has led us to enter the Unity and become Starborn. Yes, and look what it's cost us. Here we are, caught in the middle of some sort of needlessly violent crusade between the hunter and the emissary. You'd think that a technologically advanced society would have evolved past petty squabbling over something like the artifacts. It almost makes me wonder if entering the Unity has done them more harm than good. Oh, absolutely. Their arrival in our universe is much too timely to be for any other reason. It's also clear that the need to collect these artifacts are an obsession for them, almost bordering on an addiction. That leads me to wonder what the Unity has done to their minds and their souls. No, that's not it at all. When you pass into whatever lies beyond, we don't know what will become of you. Will you remember your life as you knew it? Will the hunger to collect the artifacts consume your life like it's clearly consumed the Starborn? Of course not. I am, and always will be, an explorer at heart. My concern is how fundamental the change will be to ourselves as people. We don't even know if you'll remember anything about this conversation. I'm worried what that will mean between us. I'm just as curious to find out what's on the other side as well, but that's not the point. As the chair of Constellation, I want all of us to have this opportunity to explore the Unity. It would be the pinnacle exploration of our lives. However, after we enter the Unity, we'll likely evolve. You and I, as we stand here right now, will essentially cease to exist. You're a respected colleague, and I wouldn't want to lose you. I know. Damn it. I know. Listen. I realize nothing that I say is ever going to change your mind or diminish the enticement of this incredible opportunity. All I ask is that you research the facts before you blindly stumble off into the unknown. I don't know if I'm ready to make that leap, but knowing we'd be doing it hand in hand would certainly make it more comforting. Well, I suppose I've ruined the moment again, haven't I? I'm getting quite good at that lately. I'll let you get back to whatever you were doing. Just think what we discussed. I know I will. Hey.
Statistically, I believe that should be impossible. Ability to use that power without corporeal damage is astounding.
Setting down, everything in the green.
This region has a toxic atmosphere. Your spacesuit will be required for exploration.
Landing struts primed. Retro